All right, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is King of Cards Tarot Readings coming at you today with a general collective message. So, you know how I do. You guys know what I like to do. I'm always trying to find the good. I'm always trying to see things as good. I'm always trying to make things better. This is. It's a tough reading. It's not as frustrating as yesterday's read, but I do think everybody, for the most part, followed the advice. And this is really about finding direction after realizing the situation that hadn't had to come to the surface, but had been basically painting the background of everything else. So, yeah. My flash reading is because we have, either we are letting go or we have let go of something that was very focal for us, something we put a lot of energy into. Because we've let go of that now, we haven't lost everything that we are or we've worked for, but we have to find a way of containing that or let it be spread without a container, which both of those have benefits and mm, costs. Okay, so I'll jump into the reading now. For our main issue, we have the Aeon in reverse. Now, we've seen the Aeon a few times, and what I'm getting from it today is that, yeah, the situation that you had basically been using to steer and to guide all your decisions and your daily routines has either been let go of or is being let go of. So I'll just run through a spectrum of examples. So let's say you've just graduated high school and now whatever you choose, whether it's further education or just not that, you now have to either translate, transfer, or discover skills. Um, let's say it's going from even just within that same spectrum, just like leaving your family home where you grew up, the place that you've been inhabiting. Like that could be a change like this. Or, I mean, to play off of yesterday's reading, it's probably the end of a relationship or realizing that someone in your life doesn't provide for you what you thought they did. And so they could remain in your life, but the way you see them and approach them is changing. I'm getting at that for a lot of the collective. Like maybe you're in a friend group and the person within that group that you thought was like your best friend and like the two of you could leave the group behind and flourish flourish. Let's see, sorry. Yeah, that like basically this example. So that you and a friend group, someone in that group you feel you have a special connection with, but you realize it's everybody feels that way, or even just multiple people feel that way about this person, that they have a special connection. You realize, oh, maybe our connection isn't as special as I thought it was, and now you have to withdraw. Something more deep than that example, but all of these examples together can overlay into what this is. Like, yeah, this seeing this card in reverse can either mean like this is you after leaving the kingdom, after losing the bow and arrow. You know, once the change has occurred, which the change may be what then sparks the transformation. So you may not have finished this transition space yet, but the anchor of relation has already shifted. That's the thing. Whether you've pulled up the anchor, moved it, or had it cut, it no longer is holding you in the place you had been held. Okay, so for the right hand opposal, our future state or um, additive influence, we have Five of Wands, which is strife. And for me, this card simply represents work done to an end, like with a purpose in mind, but not work that directly causes that purpose. So I kind of compare this card, or I link this card to the Empress, in that I see the Empress as doing domestic, daily activities that allow for the system, the process to run. So I see this strife card as representing actions taken which are not the final action, but which produce results that are necessary to the final action. So this could be taking bulk items and placing them into individual containers. This could be meal prepping. It's the first half of the cooking process. Sometimes that's intermixed through the whole process, but a lot of people do it all at once to get it out of the way. And then access, chopping onions, peeling potatoes, primary work that isn't the final work, but that you can't even start the final work until this has been done. So I'm seeing that you're, wherever you're at in the process of detaching, you're now doing work or you're about to be doing work that may not feel productive but feels necessary to get you to a productive place. Okay, and then for our left hand card, our negative influence or our past tense state, we have Prince of Swords. And this guy, we've seen him a decent amount, I think. He's the earthy aspect of air. So he's the object of thought. Yeah, I guess what I'm getting from this is sort of it could be the person, organization, or place that you had been anchored to, and it served you only based on your being anchored to it. And that's the key, is that it was never invested in you specifically because of who you are. It was willing to serve you because you were anchored to it. And therefore dependent on it, but more so a resource for it to get its Five of Swords type work done. Like, you were providing work that allowed this to do work. Either that is what's coming up, or some of that is what's coming up, or and also um, I let it slip for a second. What am I trying to say here? Prince of Swords, earthy aspect of air, object of thought. I'm sorry, I had two paths I wanted to take for that card. So, this could be what you were anchored to, or it's like you were this to what you were anchored to. I think that's the thing. So you were seen as just a thought, but you were the object that represented the thought. So, for the high school example, you were a student, right? A student called whatever your name is. But you were a student first, the idea first, the role first, and you were the person second, the object second, secondarily to the thought of what you were, to that institution that you were anchored to, whether that be a person, relationship, group, family, place. Yeah, so for this horizontal spread axis, I'm seeing you leaving a situation where thought was valued over object, but object was required for thought to be fulfilled. You're leaving and have left that, or it's a choice you're being allowed to make. And then you're leading into, or you're taking out of that for yourself or to give an offer to someone else who may hold a different energy or who can hold that energy differently. You have Five of Wands, which is again putting in that work required to do the work. Yeah, I love this, honestly. Um, it's tough. It's it's harsh, but it's hopeful, I think, because you will realize that whether or not you're replaceable, and to a degree in that situation you are doomed to be replaced. You are only replaceable because it's inverted. Your person is simply the name of your position instead of the position being merely a name of your person. But as you pull the anchor back from this Prince of Swords energy and place it back in yourself, the Aeon, the person which has been displaced because of its relationship to external. Once you bring that back, you'll see that the striving, the little work, the small tasks are not small or little. They are instrumental to keeping anything afloat. And if you've been giving that, you've been keeping something or someone afloat, whether they acknowledge it to you or not. But you've been the reason why something or someone has succeeded. And before you, the success they had was also requiring work from someone. So, yeah, be good to yourself. Let yourself be the Prince of Swords energy. Like, be the person and let the thought of who you are become the title. But let who you are be the anchor and be what you anchor to. Okay, and then in the vertical axis for our deck top card, we have adjustment, which we've seen quite a bit in this series. Um, and yeah, seeing this as the deck top, I'm seeing again very much that your person is what separates the institution and the marginalization of the individual from the actual work, the actual labor needed by the institution. So when you come into your power, you become indispensable. Yeah. And but this adjustment card is showing that you are the pivot point. You are the boundary, you are the threshold, and you're razor sharp. You are putting more and more emphasis on yourself, and therefore everything else must acknowledge the work you're doing and the work you've done through your person. Yeah, through your person. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I think we've covered some good ground here. Um, I feel good about where this has come from yesterday. I think it's showing that what we do matters and the people it matters to matter. Both they matter, they're important, and also they matter as in who do you want to give your labor to, you know? Yeah. Okay. So I have said it before and I will say it again. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you'll be alerted when new messages drop. This has been King of Cards Tarot Readings. Stay safe out there. And until next time, I'll see you real soon.